Welcome back to Metropole TV as well as Markets Today, and it's Friday and it's all about hashtag Ask Mbithe. It's a space where we want to hear your questions on investments. We take them and we answer them. I've gotten a couple of questions and I still encourage you to be able to send your questions through. That's 20146. I'll come to those questions, but news just in. It does look like from 1st of January 2021, you will be paying higher taxes. So corporate tax and pay-as-you-earn tax as well as VAT, value-added taxes, will all go back to where they were at before COVID. Corporate tax goes from 25 to 30%. Pay-as-you-earn goes from 25 back up to 30%. So take note of that. The effective date is 1st of January 2021. So it does look like the economic world is normalizing, and certainly that could possibly be a precursor to what to expect on the zero rating of M-Pesa, which we expect by the 31st of December to get a notification from the Central Bank of Kenya stating that we will go back to the normal, and anything of 1,000 and below will certainly be charged for any transfers. So as I said, news just in, if you are a corporate, if you are paying income tax, then your rates go from 25 back up to 30% effective 1st of January 2021. Take note of that, especially when it comes to December and your spending. Be careful because your earning power will certainly reduce from the month of January. That's pretty much what was happening in terms of the news just in, but we have a couple of questions, so I will answer this in turn. What is the best place to invest on a money market fund right now? And if I was to invest, for example, 100,000, how should I wait to get a good return? So the money market funds in Kenya are doing anything between 8 to 10%. The tier 1, the large ones, are doing about 9% give or take. What that means is you invest 100,000 today, then come 12 months later, you expect that 100,000 to grow to 109,000 shillings. But if you're able to invest 100,000, then it means each and every single month you can actually put your savings there. You know why? Because if you leave your money idle in your bank account or on your mobile wallet, it earns you 0%. So go and put it there. People like to ask, who is the best money market fund? And I always say it depends on what you are looking for. As a person, as Mbithe, I want to look for the companies that have been here for a longer time. If you have an understanding of the managers, lucky for me because I do, I have worked with them, you want to see who is prudent in terms of their returns and who's reliable in terms of giving me my money back. I always say the bigger ones are much better for me. That's as Mbithe, and the largest is CIC, second largest is Britam, third is ICEA, fourth is Sanlam. So I tend to make my choices thereabout. There's nothing wrong with the newcomers here, but for me, I try and avoid the risk of, if I put my money there, will I be able to get it back? And what is the consequence of not getting my money back? Then we have a follow-up question that says, would you advise people to invest in cryptocurrencies? How effective and reliable is it for future planning and saving? And this is from Nation. Nation, thank you so much for your questions. With any investments, you want first and foremost to be able to diversify. Second thing, you want to ask yourself, are you able to take the risk that if you put in, say for example, there are 100,000 and it disappears, are you going to be comfortable? Then by all means. Third thing is, what are the modalities of it? When it comes to crypto, I have seen some people marketing crypto locally in terms of they will give you the platform to buy, but you need to enroll a couple of your friends. That's akin to a pyramid scheme. But if you're going directly to a platform and purchasing crypto or Bitcoin, and you can be able to see if I purchase and I sell, I can get my money in a certain time period, and if that is clear for you, then it's certainly something that you want not to ignore. And here's the reason why in the Hashan. For Bitcoin, we've actually seen it top $18,000. That was last week. It has lost ground in this particular week, but $18,000 was almost 80% gain from where it was trading at in the month of August. If you're going to trade in these alternative markets and assets, you really want to keep tabs in terms of the news flow that's coming from global markets, and you want to be very switched on to be able to know what is the price looking at, is it going up, is it going down, so that you can be able to cover your losses in good time. We have another question that says, how can I readjust my finances amid renewed taxes in January but still working with a salary that was reduced? I think first and foremost, what you need to appreciate is that what is happening to you is really not unique to you. It's happening to as many people. And I say that so that you don't look down upon yourself and feel sad and imagine that the world is being unfair to you. The thing is, first and foremost, be grateful that you are healthy. You still have a source of income. The second thing you want to do is honestly just manage your expectations. If your salary was already reduced, then just know that you will be paid a higher tax rate on a reduced salary, and that's outside of your purview. First thing that you want to do is, I always say this, if you are employed, typically your hours are between 8 to 5 or maybe 7 to 6 or 7 to 7. What are you doing the other hours? What are you doing over the weekends? What are you doing at night? You have to find a way to diversify your income. When we look at Safaricom, and that's the largest company in Kenya today, the last the last revenue base was 251 billion. They have diversified. They earn from voice, they earn from SMS, they earn from mobile data, they earn from fiber to the home, they earn from M-Pesa, and even in M-Pesa, they have diversified their revenues. Already, those are about 5 revenue streams that we are counting. You might not be as big as Safaricom, granted, but as an individual, for 2021, what other thing can you do to start off by diversifying your income? First day, it could be 0. Second day, it could be 1 shilling that you earn. But if you persistently keep at it, in a year or 2, it could possibly be 10%, 20%, even half of your salary. So look at your current base as revenue source number 1. Challenge yourself, look for revenue source number 2, and even go to revenue source number 3 once you've already been able to settle that. Then after that, if you're not going to do that, you probably have to cut back on your expenses. So try and rationalize your expenses. If your expenses can be less than what you're earning, it reduces your need for debt. And if there's anything that you can do in terms of just monitoring, at least that's something I've been challenging myself for the last 30 days. These disciplines, when it comes to financial well-being, we hear them, but we don't apply them. But I can guarantee you that every day that you write how much money came in, how much money went out, whether you use an app, whether you write it down, whether you use your laptop, it begins to show you, where is my leakage coming from? Where am I wasting money? So start tracking your expenses, explore how else can you make money, ask your friends, ask your relatives, what do you think I'm good at? Use them as your network, because your network is your social capital and it is equivalent to your net worth. Start selling goods or services to them, make it consistent, make it better, and diversify your revenue. We have another question that says, hi Mbithe, in today's show you have mentioned money markets. How does it work and are they secure in terms of losses? Thank you for this question. Any investment has a risk. The risk is you might not get your money when you want it, or you might not earn the return that you had expected. I've talked a bit about money markets, but how you can find them nowadays. There is a list of money markets that's available to you on the Capital Markets Authority website. They have a report that they publish every quarter, or you could go to the Retirement Benefit Authority website and they're able to give you that data. But what I will do for you, because everybody has been asking this question, is in our show for Ask Mbithe next week on Friday, we'll actually detail out all the money market funds that are regulated in Kenya today, what their assets are, as well as their returns, so that you can be able to make a good decision. Also, in terms of visibility of information, earlier this week, we had hosted Rose Ngari, who is the founder of Vasilis Africa. Vasilis Africa has actually taken all this data and put it on their website, so you can be able to see it. So what we'll also extend to do with ourselves is ask them if we can be able to portray their information so that you can know what is happening and make the right decision. What's the advisable period to wait when investing in shares? Depends. Do you want to buy them long term? Are you buying them for speculation? Long term means you want to buy them today and sell in 5 to 7 years. That's the recommended way. But also for speculation is you want to buy low, sell high. If you make a 20% return or more on a stock, I would actually advise to sell it, because you don't know what's going to happen the next day. Anything like 30% return on a stock, sell it and then come back again. That's a good way of looking at it. But because you can't really time the market, it means that you have to keep paying attention on a regular basis to us, or just pay attention to what is happening to prices. Then the other question is, how can one prudently invest in money markets? Again, that's a topic that we will cover on Friday. Then, bearing in mind the pandemic and having exhausted emergency kitties, how does one go about reconfiguring their way about it? I'm sorry that you've had to exhaust your emergency funds, but the reality is you can't be able to plan for finances that you don't have. I think this season has called for a lot of practicality and a lot of humility. You might be looking for the opportunities that you had before COVID. They might not be available because people are losing jobs. Companies are closing down. It's not an easy season. But what I always say is get out of your house, get out of your comfort zone, go online, find a thing or two that you must sell. If you must go to the very bottom and sell eggs, that's the thing that you can do. Challenge yourself to sell 10 eggs today. Make a shilling from them or 2 shillings. Sell 20 eggs tomorrow. Find out what you can sell. I will accept that it's not easy when you lose your job. I have been there. I have lost my job. But the reality is your expenses don't stop. Your water bill, your electricity bill, your food bill, it doesn't stop because you don't have a source of income. So I would say this, accept your reality. The faster that you do it, the better. Quickly change your consumption patterns. Like if you have to come down in terms of I lived here, I can't afford it, quickly stop spending and consuming. So change your habits in terms of if my kids are going to this school, do I need to adjust? Adjust it quickly. If I was living here and I can't afford it, do I need to go to a cheaper house? Adjust it quickly. If this was my grocery budget and I can't afford it, adjust it quickly. If I had people that I was supporting and I can't do it, adjust it quickly. Then go out and try and find something that you can be able to do so that you can keep earning each and every single day. We have other questions. Thank you so much. You've had numerous questions. So I will quickly go through five more questions, and then the other questions we'll be able to answer in due time. Then we have another question that says, I am a beginner and I would like to get into the shares investments. Do you advise unit trust or I take the plunge to do shares directly? It depends again. There's no one answer fits all. You know, it's not you do this and do I. But this is what I normally recommend. If you are starting out to invest, save 10%. If you don't have dependents, challenge yourself and see, can I put 30% aside? What you want to do is what we call building an investment pyramid. An investment pyramid is like building a house where you say, I want to build a strong foundation and then I can go up the ladder. What that means is your regular savings, whether monthly or however often you save, put them in a money market fund because you want to accumulate capital. Then what I normally say, if for instance, you have accumulated 100,000 and you earn 10%, that's 10,000. That 10,000, take it to the shares. If you gain, it's okay. If you lose the 10,000 and it becomes 5,000, you have not lost 100,000. So I normally say, when it comes to risk, have your foundation steady. When your foundation is beginning to earn you a return, take that return and take it to riskier assets. Because if anything happens there, then your original 100,000 is still okay. I think that's a good way to look at it because you're not investing just on a one-off basis. You're trying to do it for the next 10, 20, 30 years to get yourself into creating good financial habits. And it starts with always defend your capital base, build it up slowly. It takes a lot of time. Earning 10% means it will take you 10 years to double 100,000 to 200,000. You could lose that in an instant if you go to risky assets. So I hope that answers your question. So I can take 2 more questions, but please keep your questions coming. We will work with our producer just to ensure that we answer you depending on the medium that you reached out to us on. So we have one other, how can I set realistic financial goals amidst a pandemic and not too high, but also not too low? And then it's December, I'm torn between spending during the festive season and holding on to it due to the volatility in the job market. When there's a pandemic, stop spending. Completely stop spending on unnecessary items. You don't have to go and meet your friends for food or to go out and hang out with them. Christmas is coming. You already see that the taxes are going up because the government is going to tax you to be able to foot its own bills. So don't. Unnecessary, just sit in your house and find something to do. It's hard to do, but what I normally say is if you start tracking, how much did I earn today? How much am I spending? You do that for about 5 days, you realize I'm spending every day. There's no money coming in. I promise you, your mind resets. So no, it's festive season, don't. And if you don't have to travel, don't actually take COVID from the urban areas to the rural areas. We've had instances of people who've done that. If you must travel, please get a COVID test taken before you go sit with your elderly parents. And if you're not willing to do that, just sit here, maybe send them a few shillings for them to be able to buy chicken, but know that this too will pass. We need you to be healthy. We need you to be able to stand on your 2 feet. So don't spend unless it's necessary in this season. Well, it's been such an honor and a privilege just to be able to answer your questions. I have so many questions coming up, but trust me, I will be able to answer this, and know that next week we'll actually allocate more time to your questions. We will be looking at the money market funds, so we'll have them lined up here so that we can be able to look at the returns, look at who are the people who are running them, look at some considerations that you want to bear in mind anytime that you are trying to pick a money market fund. It's the weekend, it's December, it's sunny in Nairobi. And I know I always people just want to sit outside and talk and say it was a hard year, we don't know what's going to happen next year. It's okay. But what I do say is this: plan for your expenses, have a mindset that says next year could be worse, the next 2 years could be worse. What am I going to do? Stretch that shilling. So don't waste it. Don't go and give it to companies for food, for drinks, for shoes and stuff. You're okay as you are. Just take this time in December to think about, how do I increase my revenues if I don't have? How do I diversify my revenues? And how do I cut back on my expenses so that I can be able to have an emergency fund? That's all from us here at Ask Mbithe. Thank you so much for your time. See you again for this segment next week on Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Natukutane on Monday for a regular week-on-week update on financial markets. Thank you for your time and salute.